How does a bastard, orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman, dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean by Providence, impoverished and squalor, turn out to be the bridge between two worlds? Lin-Manuel Miranda turned the $10 founding father into a Broadway hit. I could spend time talking about how great Hamilton is, and we would all have a great time. But instead, how about we talk about why it's so great? Hamilton does a lot of things musically that you might not necessarily notice, but it adds to the overall viewing or listening experience. So let's take a shot and see what makes Alexander Hamilton so unique. Hamilton, an American musical, uses motifs to help tell the truly amazing story of Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is a motif? Not everybody likes music theory after all. Well, luckily, I got you covered. A motif is a short musical idea, melodic, harmonic, rhythmic, or any combination of these three. An idea that occurs often in a piece of music. An example of a lyrical motif is the line, "I am not throwing away my shot." This phrase appears in the songs My Shot, Right Hand Man, Yorktown, The World Turned Upside Down, and Non-Stop, respectively. Did I mention that this was just in the first act alone? Motifs help bind the story together. Whenever you hear the fanfare introduced in Alexander Hamilton, you know that Aaron Burr is about to drop some knowledge. There's also Burr's motif, wait for it, which we hear repeated in the song of the same name, and again in the song Non-Stop. It's used to tell us about Burr as a character. We see that Alexander is always taking every opportunity to advance his career, while Burr is going to wait and let things come to him. After all, as Burr said himself, he is the one thing in life he can control. The thing about a motif is that it can have dual meanings. When the line, "Just you wait," returns in Non-Stop, it's used to foreshadow Hamilton's death. This is a callback to the show's very first song. This is Miranda's subtle way of telling the audience that Hamilton is going to throw away his shot in his upcoming duel with Aaron Burr. In a musical as lyrically dense as Hamilton, the motifs are something for the audience to connect with. When you hear Philip play the piano in Take a Break, he's playing scales reminiscent of the 10 Dual Commandments. Or in the song, That Would Be Enough, where at the very end a melody is played that you'll hear again in the songs, It's Quiet Uptown and Best of Wife, Best of Women. This melody is basically the sad Eliza theme, which only plays when Eliza is about to lose someone or has lost someone she really cares about. In the examples of That Would Be Enough, Hamilton has to go back to war in the very next song, and It's Quiet Uptown is right after Philip's death, and Best of Wives, Best of Women is right before Alexander's duel with Aaron Burr. So why does any of this matter? Music is technically filled with motifs after all, right? All music is filled with motifs. Yes and no, actually. Miranda's magnum opus is more than just your basic music theory. Each verse in each song packs emotional weight while also being mostly historically accurate. Let's take a look back at some foreshadowing in the play's second song, Aaron Burr, Sir.
You wanna get ahead? Yes. Fools who run their mouths off wind up dead.
Yo, what time is it? Showtime!
Like I said.
Showtime, yo! I'm John Lawrence in the place to be. 2 pints of Sam Adams, but I'm working on 3. Those red coats don't want it with me, cause I will pop, chicka plop these cops till I'm free.
Eh oui, mon ami, je m'appelle Lafayette, the Lancelot of the revolutionary set. I came from afar just to say bonsoir to the king, cause it's who is the best, c'est moi.
Brah, brah, I am Hercules Mulligan, up in it, loving it. Yes, I heard your mother said, come again. Lock up your daughters and horses. Of course, it's hard to have intercourse over 4 sets of corsets. Wow. No more sex, pour me another brew, son. Let's raise a couple more to the revolution. Well, if it ain't the prodigy of Princeton College, Aaron Burr, give us a verse, drop some knowledge.
Good luck with that, you're taking a stand. You spit, I'ma sit, we'll see where we land.
The revolution's imminent. eminent, what do you stall for?
If you stand for nothing, Burr, what'll you fall for?
Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Who is this kid? What's he gonna do?
Yes, this is clearly set up for Hamilton and Burr's duel in the second act, but the lines here have another meaning. John Lawrence is going to get killed while fighting in the Revolutionary War. John's entire motivation is to end slavery. He runs his mouth and ends up dead. Things like this are why Hamilton can be replayed over and over again. We not only connect with the characters and their journey, but it's done in a way like we've never really seen before. Music has hooks and riffs and progressions that keep you locked into the song. Oftentimes, a song can have just 4 major chords, and that's enough for the tune to get stuck in your head. Movies are a bit different. We need to spend time with the characters, try and get to know who they are. Hamilton is unique in the fact that it has to do both. It's pure music from beginning to end. The song progresses the story, and it has to reflect the characters' emotions. It immerses us in a world where even orphan immigrants can leave their fingerprints and rise up. Alexander's last solo in the play is a song called Hurricane, in which he says the line,
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. I'll write my way out.
This is again Burr's motif from Wait For It. Are you starting to understand what I mean by musical narrative? The story is being presented in a way that only makes sense your second time through. The use of motifs and themes enhance the listening experience. But even if you don't pick up on these things on your first viewing or first listen of the soundtrack, you're still understanding what's going on. The replay value here is at an all-time high. It's why you feel pain when you hear It's Quiet Uptown and you hear Eliza's theme. Motifs, key changes, and rhymes keep the listener engaged. Our last example of this is from The Story of Tonight. The chorus is, Raise a glass to freedom. This song is led by both John Lawrence and Alexander Hamilton, who are both killed near the end of Act 1 and Act 2 respectively. This is an obvious one, but it comes back towards the end of the second act in the song, The World Was Wide Enough. Alexander raises his pistol to the sky and says his very last words, raise a glass to freedom. Each verse, every lyric, every chord played in this masterpiece is there with a purpose. I didn't even mention the fact that the song, The Story of Tonight, has a lyric that says, I may not live to see our glory, and the 2 gentlemen who lead the song die in this play. That's what makes this so good, and it impacts us on every level. Miranda got the hook of a song, the emotional connection of a film, and wrapped it in a history lesson. There's no reason this should have worked, and yet here we are. We have rap battles about cabinet meetings. People know what the heck the Reynolds pamphlet is, and the Siege of Yorktown is now a song of victory. Miranda took a history class and music theory, and made a truly unique piece of art that will be remembered forever.